Okay, that second sheet of notes needs to be glued in onto a piece of paper in your binder. And then below that, hopefully you have space so we can write out these problems or go to the next page. So for the first problem, Fran has a plank of wood that's 4.65 meters long. She wants to cut it into 85 hundredths of a meter long pieces. How many pieces of wood that length can she cut from the plank? So we've got to figure out what operation to do here. So we have a total length, and then we're dividing it into pieces. So that tells me that we are going to take 4.65 and divide it by 0.85. Okay, we can use a calculator for this section. So when you divide, you do not get a whole number. You get 5.47058, blah, blah, blah. It keeps going, right? So you have to look at the problem and see if it makes sense to leave this answer as a decimal. So they're asking how many pieces of wood that length can she cut? Well, she can only cut 5 that length. She would have a 6 piece, but it would not be that length that she is looking for. So the answer to this would be 5 pieces. I would not say that it's this decimal answer, okay? So you have to look and see, does my answer make sense as a decimal, or should I go down to 5? Should I go up to 6? What makes sense in this problem, okay? Next problem, Jeremy has a box of 500 nails that weighs 1.35 kilograms. He uses 60 nails to build a birdhouse. How much do the nails in the birdhouse weigh? Hint, you would divide and multiply. So they gave us a hint here telling us to do both operations. Of course, you know that it's not always going to be like that. So I need to know how much one nail is. And then once I have that information, I can just multiply by 60 to get how many he used in the birdhouse, which 60 nails in a birdhouse sounds like a lot. So I need to know the weight per nail. So I'm going to take the weight first, divide it by how many nails. And that gives me a small number because they don't weigh that much. So that's how many per nail. So then I'm going to take that number and multiply by 60. And so my answer would be 0.162 kilograms. What is the cost of 14.78 gallons of gas if the price per gallon is $2.67? Okay, so I have that it is $2.67 per gallon. So I want to know how much for 14.78 gallons. So I could sit here and add 2.67 multiple times, but then I still have that 0.78 that I would have to deal with. So the best way is going to be to just multiply. So 2.67 times 14.78 is going to be 39.4626. And again, I need to look at my answer and see if it makes sense. So I'm talking about money. So I'm going to only take it to 2 decimal places. So my answer is going to be $39.46. Sean has a piece of poster board with an area of 476.28 square centimeters. He cuts it into equal size squares, each with an area of 39.69 square centimeters. How many squares can he cut from the piece of poster board? So I'm going to take my total amount of area, 476.28. I'm going to divide it into, or divide it by those sections. And I get 12. So he could have 12 squares. Mount McKinley is about 3.848 miles high. If a mountain climber can climb 0.28 miles per day, about how many days would it take the climber to climb Mount McKinley? Round your answer to the nearest whole day. So I have a total distance here. It's 3.848 miles. And then I'm going to divide that by 2,800 miles per day to get a total amount of days. And I do get a decimal, so it's 13.742857, and it keeps going. So round your answer to the nearest whole day. So that means that I would round this up to 14 days. So it would take about 14 days. Okay, and the last one, Diego is purchasing 8.75 pounds of ground beef for a big family cookout. If ground beef costs $4.22 per pound, how much will Diego pay for the meat? So I have my amount per pound, and then he needs to buy 8 3/4. So I'm going to multiply those together. And it comes out to be 36.925. So I'm going to say that this is $36.93 because money's going to go to 2 decimal places.